Well, hello there, mind pretties. You or I do not have the same opportunities and the same resources and so forth that the top 0.1% of our country has or that members of our Congress has. We just don't have those same opportunities and resources. This is empirically true. It's not a belief or an opinion. It's absolutely the truth. So here's what you and I can do about it. And I've already started doing something about this over a decade ago. It's 2016 or 2017 right now. I started in 2007, so it's been a decade for me at this point. But I'm only about 1 out of every 50 people that's doing this. The other 49 out of 50 of you are not doing this. So therefore, you live and you die with against a system that is completely tilted against you and working against your favor. So the top 0.1% and these richest, hello Mr. Motorcycle, and the richest families of the world that own multinational corporations and members of Congress, everything that they create, all the laws, the tax policies, monetary policy, everything is tilted in their favor, and it's tilted against everyone else. And the rich keep getting richer, the poor keep getting poorer, the income gap keeps getting greater, which creates richer people and poorer people. And all of these things, almost everybody recognizes, but everyone should recognize it because it's not a belief you get to have. It's empirically, factually true. So here's what you do about it. You don't have the opportunity and the resources that very few people have. So you create your own opportunity. And who's out there preaching that? Let me tell you what I mean. First, I want to ask you a question, and this is going to take an incredible amount of humility to be honest with yourself. You don't need to answer to me, but just answer to yourself if you ever want to start doing better for yourself without having to worry about what the economy is doing and attaching your own personal wellness and how well you're doing to the stupid economy or the value of the dollar or any of that nonsense. And that is, do you have this belief to varying degrees that the top 0.1% and government, they have everything tilted against me. I'm just trying to pay my bills and feed my family, and they sure do make it difficult with what they're doing. And geez, so I hope the economy improves so that I can improve and make it easier to take care of myself and my family. I mean, do you have beliefs like that? I used to, so it's okay if you do. The important thing is that you change that belief. I'm going to hopefully help you with that in this video, so stick around and don't click off. So first, I want you to recognize something about that belief. So you believe that the system is tilted against you because it is. It's factually true. So then why would you continue year after year to stake your personal success and whatever else on those entities that you consciously recognize as being tilted against you? Does that make any sense whatsoever? Of course it doesn't. I just threw you a softball down the middle. It makes no sense to stake any part of your well-being on entities that you recognize that's working against your favor. So maybe you just need to hear it framed that way to start thinking differently about it and going, oh my God, I've been pretty stupid about it. And then maybe you can draw a line in the sand, just as I did, and maybe 1 out of 50 people do. And then you can start tilting it in your favor, even without being the top 0.1% or being a member of Congress. So how do you tilt it in your favor? You start working to build income streams from passive and residual money. That is the unshackling of yourself from the dollar. That's unshackling yourself from being obedient to those at the very top of the food chain who need your unquestionable obedience, because that's what they do with the value of the dollar. They need your unquestionable obedience so they can make their money on the back of you being shackled to the dollar. And the only way you can break that, and there really is only one way, and that's developing your own passive and residual money. The opposite money that you get at your job, or for most self-employed people. Most self-employed people are working for money just as people with a job. The only people that have a business that are unshackling themselves from that nonsense are the ones that are focused on passive and residual money, because it unshackles themselves from the dollar. It separates their time from getting a paycheck. That means that once a person does the upfront work at doing this, then after that point, it took me 2.5 years in my very spare time, 2.5 years of working on my own passive and residual money. And I came to this place where I will continue to get paid and my bills will be paid for, whether I work or sleep or take a vacation or work on interesting projects that pay nothing or cost me something. It doesn't matter. I'm covered. I'm covered. That's a free human being. What isn't free is working for a paycheck, whether you have a job or you're self-employed. If you're working for a paycheck every week or every month, it's the hamster wheel paycheck. It gets its name, hamster wheel paycheck, because if you stop showing up, you stop recreating the dollar, you stop getting paid, and you end up on the streets homeless and you can't eat anymore. That's how the top 0.1% uses employment and self-employment to keep you an unquestionable, obedient servant to that paycheck. And you can break away from that nonsense. We weren't meant to be slaves. That's a modern form of slavery that 49 out of 50 people are living. Only 1 out of every 50. I'm happily included in that one as of 10 years ago. That works to generate passive and residual money. Here's the conversation most people have, the mental gymnastics, when they're shown opportunity. 49 out of 50 people will say, I don't have money. I'm broke. I can't afford to take advantage of opportunity. I said, I don't have the money. I have no income. I have no job. I can't afford not to take advantage of opportunity. And the same scenario, but the rationale was completely opposite. Here's another common one. People will say, I don't have time to get involved in another endeavor, so therefore I can't and I won't. And I said, I don't have time to get involved in another endeavor, therefore I have to get involved. So that I'm not saying regurgitating the same line, how I have no time and no money a year from now and the year after that and the year after that. I don't want to be some loser with the same problem year after year that's not getting any better. So because I don't have time and because I don't have money, I have to take advantage of opportunity because I don't have those things and I want to have more of those things. I want more freedom. Another one people say is, I don't know what I'm doing. I wouldn't know how to do that. I don't have the skills there, so therefore I can't take advantage because I don't know how. And I said, I have no skills. I don't know what I'm doing. I failed at other things in the past. I struggled to get straight D's on my report card, and I was a special ed student in small classrooms. I rode the short bus to school. I'm pretty dumb. So I have to take advantage of this and start learning so that I can stop being so damn stupid and maybe become at least halfway smart, or at least improve upon myself year after year. So because I don't know what I'm doing and I don't have a past that says I would be successful, I have to get in now and start learning what I'm doing so I can do it. So again, the same rationale, or not the same rationale, the same set of factual circumstances, but the rationale I turned on its head. So basically, here's what I did. I found out what most people are doing, how most people are thinking. I learned to do the exact opposite. And that one philosophy alone, like learn what most people are doing, how they rationalize stuff, do the exact opposite, and you will be unusually successful. You'll be the 1 out of 50 versus the common 49 out of 50, regurgitating, puking up the same garbage. That nonsensical psychobabble that takes place internally. It's an inside job. Every problem you have is an inside job. But what's cool about that is it means every solution is also an inside job. You have to draw that proverbial line in the sand like I did. I used to say, I'm broke, so I can't. I have no time, so I can't. I don't know what I'm doing, so I can't. And then I started saying, got no money, got no time, don't know what I'm doing, so I got to start. I have to. I just have to start. And so I started. And I think the worst excuse that people have, or the worst rationalization people use for not doing something important is, I don't know how, so I'm not. That is the biggest steaming pile of bullshit people sell themselves on. Because if that were true, then you'd still be crawling around, pooping in a diaper, and whatever you do for a living at your job, you wouldn't know how to do that because you never learned. You never learned to be potty trained. You never learned to drive a car. You wouldn't know how to do anything. But you learned all those things. So you've proven to yourself you're fully capable of learning. Maybe you just don't like to learn. And in that case, you really screwed yourself over before the government or the top 1% ever could. So you have to love learning, man. I mean, if you don't, then you're just SOL. I mean, that's like the epitome of a big fat loser. You don't like to learn, so you gotta love to learn. You have to love learning. So, and here's mental gymnastics. I throw this term around a lot with great meaning, in-depth meaning. So all this rationalization, I won't even get started. Or maybe I did get started, but I quit because the going got tough, so I quit instead of the going get tough, so I got tough and I figured it out. No, the going got tough, so I quit, or I didn't get started because I don't have the time, I don't have the money, I don't have the skills, I don't have the patience, I don't have the personality, temperament, whatever it is that you rationalize behind it. Whenever we rationalize quitting something important or not even getting started on something important, whatever the rationale is that you're using, it's all an ego trip. It's to protect yourself, to make it a little easier for you to live with yourself, for being a quitter and for being somebody who maybe didn't even get started. Because you're there to, your priority is to protect your ego. It's not to make a difference or to be the change you want to see in the world or in other people or inspire anybody. That's not the priority. The priority is the preservation of your ego, which doesn't really work anyway, and you know it. So that's also a self-made delusional line of crap we feed ourselves too. And I used to do all of these things, so I'm not pointing any fingers, and once in a while I'll still catch myself starting to do one of these things, but now it's in the forefront of my brain, so as soon as I recognize it, I can go, whoa, back off and change direction right away. And it's important that you do the same thing as well. You know what I'm saying, man? So, and here's another thing. You know, there's very deep pockets out there, you know, that top 0.1%, how the rich keep getting richer and the poor keep getting poorer. When you do that game of mental gymnastics, you're not even gonna take advantage of opportunity, and you're still gonna give the mental gymnastics the rationale as to why you can't get started or why you can't see something through. You're playing into the already deep pockets, making them even deeper with that internal nonsensical psychobabble. The income gap is there and continues to get bigger because of you with that nonsense. It's because of you. You make it so easy for them to get richer at the expense of you becoming poorer. So step number one is to take this monkey suit off that you built around yourself to protect yourself from getting hurt. Big bad ego job, and have some humility to criticize yourself constructively and to love yourself enough, more than enough to love yourself, to stop saying I can't, stop starting your sentences with I can't and just telling it how it is, keeping it how it is, and replace that garbage with things like how can I? Let's get on a search for some answers. And then you start making discoveries. You'll learn about different forms of leverage, which most people have no clue about. You start learning stuff about leverage, different forms of leverage, so that you can take whatever you've got now, even if it's nothing, and turn it into something. Whether it's time, money, so you can have more resources, more opportunity for yourself, because now you're creating opportunity for yourself. Instead of, the ultimate loser is really somebody that's waiting for the economy, waiting for the government, waiting for taxes, waiting for a more generous boss. The ultimate loser is waiting for those things to improve before they improve. The ultimate winner is somebody who draws that proverbial line in the sand and says, enough of that garbage, create my own damn opportunity. I'm going to replace those stupid sentences with questions so I can finally unleash the power of my human brain and start learning about how I can have more money, better money, like passive and residual money, how I won't be needy for a job, how I will no longer have to live underneath the thumb of other people that depend on my unquestionable obedience who can tell me what to do, to provide real safety and security for myself and for my family. I'm going to start asking questions. What teachers do I need? What books do I need to read? What seminars, webinars, what opportunity do I need to start saying yes to and running with? And, you know, time, money, lack of skill, personality, temperament, whatever excuse I was using to make rich people even richer at the expense of myself, I'm not going to do that anymore. Instead, I'm going to ask questions and unleash the power of my human brain to fervently search for those answers. So I can have a rich and creative brain instead of a poor, lazy one coming up with that stupid rationale, making people richer that are already rich at the expense of myself. I mean, think about it. You consciously recognize the system is rigged against you, but you're going to stake an ounce, not just an ounce, but almost your entire success or any bit of your success on a system you consciously recognize as being rigged against you. It's like how stupid, dangerously stupid you have to be to do that. So don't be stupid anymore, man. Start creating your own opportunity, and it begins with checking your ego and having the humility to self-criticize and self-love, for real self-love, to replace those statements you've been making with questions that unleashes the power of your human brain to be rich and creative in finding solutions to those problems. Okay? That's what it's all about. Now, step number one, by the way, step number one, this is a big deal. Step number one and tilting the system in your favor without being the top 0.1%, without being a member of government. You could be dirt poor. You could have no time, no money, no skill. Step number one, and anybody can do this, doesn't matter your circumstance, you have to decide you're going to own a business that has a compensation of residual and passive money. If you own a business the way that most people own a business, then you're just a bigger slave to the dollar. So scrap that nonsense. You need to get involved in a business that is residual and passive income based. Otherwise, you're still shackled, just even more so. Because the moment that you decide you're going to be a business owner and you take that first step, in that instant, the tax laws tilt in your favor. 99.9% of all the tax laws and monetary and fiscal policies are immediately tilted in your favor. If all you're going to have is a job or work for money as a self-employed person, then you only have about 0.1% in your favor. In other words, you're penalized for not having residual passive income as a self-employed person. If all you have is a job and you're not doing anything to build residual and passive money, then the harder you work, the more money you make, the more you're penalized for it. The system is totally rigged against you. Be a business owner. Now the system just tilted in an instant. It's in your favor. And as you learn what that means, I'm not going to get into that in this video, but as you learn what that means, you can start to make better decisions in your life so that you can become more resourceful, and you'll have more resources, and you'll have more opportunities that only people get to learn about these things, right? That's important. And as far as what I did, and this isn't an opportunity for me to pitch you my business, but if you're interested in my business, I'd sure love to show it to you. It's passive, it's residual. It took me 2.5 years. Some people do it sooner, some people do it longer. I call it the 2 to 5 year plan, which is the speed of light. 2 to 5 years to retire richer than you were when you were working, compared to the 40-year plan to retire poorer than you were when you were working, is the speed of light. And it's the process of unshackling yourself from the dollar and from other people who can put you under their thumb and tell you what to do. It's your exit from the ultimate pyramid scams, working for money. And it is the exit from unquestionable obedience to people who hold the dollar over your head because you need it to pay your bills and have a house and feed your family. And if you want to know what I'm doing, just ask me. I'll share it with you. And get this, after I share it with you, if you don't want to do it, it's totally cool. And that's how I teach all my team to do it. It's like, check out the info. If it's a good fit for you, let's run with it. If it's not, good luck on your search. Help me find something that works for you. And you can word that whichever way you like it. That's pretty much the whole invitation, and I teach it to my entire team. That's how we are business owners building our own residual and passive income. And it's our exit from the pyramid scams and schemes of the world that inundates and traps people below other people's inadequacies. So pyramid schemes, bad. Building residual and passive money to escape from that nonsense, good, very good. And my business in particular deals with health and wellness. So the idea is to build residual passive money by perpetuating health and wealth, instead of making money by perpetuating sickness and poverty. Making money by perpetuating health and wealth instead of sickness and poverty. So if you like that idea, contact me and I'll share the details with you. And feel free to share this video, because these are great ideas that need to get out there. The more people that get out of the business of being controlled and manipulated by the dependency of money, the better. We want more free human beings, and we want to close the income gap. We want to close the income gap big time because it's completely out of control. So these ideas are worth sharing, so please share this video. And my website is tomberkenmeyer.com, just like it's spelled here in social media. tomberkenmeyer.com, take out the space, tomberkenmeyer.com. And I'll hear from quite a few of you very soon, and feel free to drop your comments below. Bye for now. Mwah.